Okay, everyone, let's get started. I'm going to toggle over and start sharing my screen for this presentation. All right, hopefully you can see the presentation here. All right. So I'm Carla Macklin. I'm the founder of SwiftRec, and I wanted to thank each of you for coming to SwiftRec's very first webinar about our platform for rehab clinicians. Today, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the functions of SwiftRec and how our platform can help you manage your product recommendations to patients, making you more efficient at work, especially in these times of telehealth. After walking you through some of the features, I'll speak briefly about where we are headed as a company and also ask for your assistance to help us create a really robust resource for rehab clinicians across the globe. And while I'm talking, feel free to post questions, which I will answer at the end of the presentation. So I am the founder. I launched the company back in 2019 to help occupational therapists, physical therapists, and speech and language pathologists share helpful product tips with their patients. Prior to founding SwiftRec, I ran an adaptive clothing company where I became aware of the great influence rehab clinicians have over their patients. I also witnessed that a patient's recovery is often dependent on the therapy products that get recommended to them. And as you all know, it is the information you share with your patients that's critical to their long-term success. However, while selling adaptive products, I noticed there was no efficient tool out there to help clinicians quickly find products that have been helpful to their peers, nor was there a digital way to share these products with patients. I heard stories about how clinicians spent their weekends searching online for equipment that could benefit a patient. I saw how much time clinicians were spending in the back and forth communication surrounding where to find a particular product. I watched clinicians recommend products on sticky notes or other scrap pieces of paper that often got lost before the patient could get them home. And I also became aware of the clinician's desire to know whether a patient was actually engaging with the recommendations they were given. So we built SwiftRec as a free platform to help rehab clinicians find, store, share, and track the helpful therapy products they recommend. So let me show you how it works. Here is a screenshot of our proprietary database of therapy and care products. You'll see it's found in the Products tab at the bottom of the screen. Within our database, we have hundreds of therapy and care products, each one of which has been vetted by a rehab clinician. What we've done is go through and categorize each of the products for easy reference, which I will show you in this quick little video. So at the top left corner of the screen, you can see, you can select categories to filter the products into geriatric and pediatric needs, shown here. We'll select geriatric, and then we can further filter by diagnosis, ADL, or other categories like mobility and safety. So for example, you might have a dementia patient who is wandering at night, so you can filter the database to show you only dementia-related products. Click here. And after scrolling through the products list, you might find, for example, a bed alarm, the Safe Wander bed alarm that's been posted to the database. When you click on the product, you're taken to a page where you can read comments about that product and better understand whether it would be helpful to your patients or not. And if you happen to have experience with this product, you can add your own comments by clicking here or give it a star rating. So with what we're building with our database, we're really trying to get a user-informed resource in front of rehab clinicians as it pertains to the products that they recommend. And this database will grow as our usership grows. Next, this image here shows our favorites list. It's a place where you can curate all your best therapy ideas in one place. You can access it by toggling from this Products tab at the bottom over to the Favorites tab. And when you first create an account, the Favorites tab is empty, but I'm going to show you a favorites list that has been built out. You'll see the categories that help organize the list, like products and resources, which we will toggle open. And then you can see a variety of favorites that this user has added, not only from our database, but other websites across the web. They've added web resources, videos from YouTube, and other specialized categories like incontinence products and dementia support. So to add a new favorite, you would just simply click Add New Favorite at the top of the screen, which brings a pop-up where you can paste in a web address of a new favorite here. You give it a name that is easy for you to recognize, and then below that, select a category. And this is where you can get really creative with the categories that you make. You can add your own. And in the mobile app versions of SwiftRec, you can also add photos as favorites. You could, for example, take pictures of all those old exercise handouts that you've photocopied 1,000 times and struggle to remember to bring to appointments. So this favorites list is a great way to keep all your most helpful information right at your fingertips. So once you've built out your favorites list, you can share items out of the platform. You simply select the items. We'll grab this stocking donor and a video showing how to use it. And there we go. And then click share at the top of the page. You're given options to share with either a patient or a caregiver/colleague. Each share function works a bit differently for security purposes, but in both cases, a master link is generated that contains all the sublinks for the products, resources, and videos you're sharing. This master link is what gets sent to a recipient's email. So if we flip here to what the recipient sees, they open their email, and they get an email from SwiftRec. When they click that open, they get a master link, which is shown here, that then holds all of the products and resources that you are sending to them. If they go deeper, they can actually find where on the web these products live or where the resources can be accessed. So as a side note, the recipients of these recommendations, the patients and their caregivers and your colleagues, do not need to have a SwiftRec account or interact with SwiftRec in any other way. They simply get an email from you, and they get a link that they click on to access the information you're trying to share. And once you've shared your favorites, you can navigate to the History tab down at the bottom. The History tab helps you keep track of all the recommendations that you send out to people, sorted by date. But the best part is that if you click one of the links that you've shared with an individual, you can see whether that recipient has opened the links you've recommended. Under the Viewed column here, you can see a yes if the recipient has opened that link and a no if they have not. This can help you understand whether your patients have been taking your advice and might help inform you on how they're progressing with their therapy in between therapy appointments. So while SwiftRec was developed long before telehealth was the norm, we see our platform can be a nice supplement to your virtual practice. If you're like me, sitting in front of your computer all day, you'll find it easy to add new products to your favorites list or monitor those interactions with that you send to your patients. You might also find SwiftRec helpful to work in an e-visit or share recommendations for certain ADLs or exercises by pulling up your favorites list right in front of your patient on the screen. We are especially interested to learn during these COVID times whether you find yourself doing more product recommendations in the absence of these face-to-face interactions with patients. We suspect that the recommendations of products will be even more valuable to patients now that you might not be giving them hands-on therapy. Now, this is just a hypothesis, and I invite you to fill out the poll that has been attached to the Zoom webinar if you would like to respond to that directly. Please tell us if you think getting patients to find the right therapy products is more important than ever when in-person therapy sessions are fewer and fewer. So if you happen to find yourself wanting to use SwiftRec, great. There are a variety of ways to do this. First, you can find our web-based app at swiftrec.io. It's entirely free to make an account. You just need your email. But now you also have the opportunity to use it as a native app if you have an Android device, as we just launched in Google Play about a month ago. We're getting very close to being live in the Apple App Store as well, but this process has been proven to be a little bit more difficult to navigate, and we're probably about a month or so from being live on iPhones. There's a bit more functionality in the native apps as opposed to the web app, but the web app is still fully mobile enabled, so most of the functions within SwiftRec are available to you right now on whatever mobile device that you use. So we need your help building out SwiftRec to be the best tool it can be. We want to first grow our database of products so we can help you learn from your peers. We're able to grow that database when our clinicians post new favorites to their favorites list. When a new favorite comes in, we do some internal vetting to make sure it's applicable to our user base. Then we go ahead and categorize it so you can find it in the database. From there, we can really build a robust resource for you. We also need your help spreading the word about our platform to your colleagues. So if you think you know somebody who would be interested in saving some time and finding the right therapy products for their patient population, please share our information. And finally, what we need most is feedback. We'd love to know which features of the platform are working for you and which might be confusing. So we're open to all comments, positive and negative, about what you think about SwiftRec. We've been lucky enough to have some great clinician advisors, but we need to learn from what you're doing in order to really make the best product out there for you. So with that, I will take any questions you might have.